What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Um, I am very excited to announce we have a new studio coming in. And guys, I was up setting it up this weekend. All right, I didn't do anything. These spam callers will not leave me alone. Okay, I didn't do anything. I watched them set it up. All right. You know what? I got there after they were done. Okay, so do you know what, guys? I was watching a video before the show that was talking about the degeneracy of modern writing. Okay. And I might have to share my screen before I get into today's topic. And basically talking about how women are just reading corn. Let me see. I retweeted it. So today I learned some of the most popular books on Amazon are corn novels for women in which the love interest is a monster, a demon, or other supernatural creatures. I'm not kidding. Bruh. A lot of pastors that follow me. So now I think this could be a useful, albeit dark and difficult sermon theme. Yeah, because you always hear so many pastors talking about the degeneracy of corn, right? But they never talk about the degeneracy of romance novels. It's just crazy. Okay. So today we're actually going to go over one of my tweets that I had on Twitter. A lot of my tweets do or a lot of my shows do come from tweets that I think of. And this tweet was, what is something that you have noticed gives women a big ego that they shouldn't have? So I've been kind of watching the way society is going the last few years. And it just blows my mind how many women have these big egos from doing pretty much nothing. Now, I'm not saying that women can't have, somewhat difficult jobs, contribute, but I get a little bit annoyed when I see things like, let me see. I start seeing OnlyFans models get treated like celebrities and talking about how hard their jobs are. Do you know what I mean? Or I see, there's a guy every week that dies so we can get crab. That do crab fishing. And we have people saying that podcasters' jobs are hard. Here it is. Oh, this was the clip. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. All right, let me copy this link so it puts in a different tab. Okay, we're gonna share the screen.
Famous people like.
All right, let me refresh it so it starts over.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So my name is Jack.
Jack.
I create content. I meet famous people like you. I just wanted to ask you some questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
What's something about being famous that most people don't know?
It's honestly a lot of work. A lot of people think that doing this job is easy, but they don't understand.
How could you say that? You're selling nudes.
And that having to interact with a lot of different people online also, there's a lot of hate online.
Okay.
And people just think that, if you just don't listen, it'll be fine. But eventually, a lot of times they...
So she's complaining about hearing mean words and selling nudes and saying that's really difficult.
Get to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just gotta ignore the haters.
Okay, so the best way to deal with the hate?
Yes.
And this is what I mean when I look at the comments. Men will always simp, like always. The comment, I met Sophie Rain in Beverly Hills. Thanks for being so kind, Sophie. The top comment, she seems super cool. This is what I mean. Women get gassed up we for doing nothing. The top 14,000 likes. She has a kind personality. DJ Rick, she's super kind and nice. For doing the bare minimum, she gets all this praise for just being polite. She's actually super smart. She's made 70 million on OF without actually showing anything rude at all. Congrats to you. I mean, these are some of the top comments.
It's just to ignore.
I'm in the middle.
Just a second. So the best way to deal with the hate is just to ignore it.
Just to ignore it. A lot of people, no matter where you are or what you're doing, there's going to be hate. You just gotta ignore that. Take that hate and turn it into motivation.
So what's something about you that most people don't know at all? You wish people would know?
A lot of people don't know this, but I own a farm and I love farm animals. Like when I retire, I want to work on my farm and I want to take care of my cows. I currently have 2 cows right now.
That's
and
cool.
I know they're babies. I just recently got them. I'm trying to grow the herd. I'm trying to have at least 20 cows.
Someone else is doing it for her. Okay, but it's like the audacity. And I'm like, how do women get these huge egos? This is insane. So I noticed a trend of women thinking they're awesome for doing nothing and achieving nothing. And this comes from the modern woman's ego. The definition of an ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Now, I'm not one to say that there's anything necessarily wrong with having an ego. For example, Trump has a huge ego. Elon Musk has a huge ego. Ego can be a good thing, and it can be used to achieve and do crazy things. I mean, men use ego to conquer the world. But if you have a huge ego without skills or status to back it up, it makes you an asshole. It makes you a jerk, and it makes you delusional. Enter modern women. Modern women's egos have gotten out of control. It used to be that hot girls had an ego, but now you see single mothers having an ego, old women having an ego, fat whales having an ego. You see overweight women saying you deserve princess treatment. Ma'am, you're fat. You're fat. You're overweight. How did this happen? How did we get here? Feminism, that's how. Now the average man has to deal with a woman with an inflated sense of ego, a big mouth, and an attitude. Now, there's a few jobs I've noticed that give women a huge ego. Nurses, sex workers, police officers, lawyers, and what I call the nagging positions. Women not really doing anything but nagging. Management positions, project managers, social media 90% of the time, female preachers, politicians, and political commentators. I mean, even this show, I'm nagging the naggers. This is like a nag back show. This is like, you guys nag, so I'm going to nag right back. All of these jobs are simply relaying and repeating information. They are not solving world hunger, curing cancer, or building anything. They're simply talking, but because women get an audience and market share, it creates an ego. All of this is affecting dating as a whole. Now, you may say, Pearl, men do some of these positions too. What is the difference between a man and a woman in these positions? Men have egos too, but men are benevolent. They are more likely to think of others and use their positions to benefit their company and society than women. Today, I've noticed the following things give women a big ego in dating. Sleeping with someone that's out of their league. Getting expensive dinners out of men. You know, it's not really a flex to get an expensive dinner out of a man when he's a rich guy that takes everybody to an expensive dinner. I mean, I know men that buy whole tables of people dinner because they have money. So you might get an expensive dinner out of a guy, but you're the 5th girl there that week. Getting DMs from celebrities who also DM everybody. Makeup that makes them go up 2 points. They think they actually look like that. Instagram filters, shapewear, getting resources from men. It does not make you a better or more desirable person because you're better able to get resources from men. It just means you can get a buyer. For example, I mean, you can get a buyer on Facebook Marketplace. I could have a car with 100,000 miles on it that's got a lot of issues under the hood. And I could oversell it. I could find a buyer because there's always a sucker. There are paintings. I heard there was literal like golden poop that sells for $1 million or some crazy number. I mean, just because you can have a buyer doesn't mean you're really worth that much. It just means somebody was willing to pay. But it inflates the modern woman's ego. For some reason, women get power hungry, and it also inflates the modern woman's ego to rob men. To rob men. They will be dragging a man through divorce court, which is, I mean, I would say that makes you a not a very nice person. But for some reason, modern women get so power hungry and it just builds their ego. Men chasing them. Men will always chase for sex. It doesn't mean anything. You know, I love women say, oh, I went on a date with X guy, B guy, this guy, that guy. Well, did he stay after he hit? I mean, that's the only way you can really see if he liked you. There's no burden of performance before. Dating app matches, single friends telling women they're awesome and it's all his fault. Modern women's group chats give them a huge ego because you go to the group chat and you're immediately told that you're right. Females simp male friends that are trying to sleep with them, telling them that they're awesome and the guy is wrong. I mean, how many guys are in line? They're pretty much in line to bang the woman next. And so obviously they have to say that the woman's right when she goes and cries to him about an argument. And it's always the female friendly version of the story. Being able to twerk gives women a big ego. Having children, being a single mom or taking a man's kids in divorce, struggling as a single mom. They think there's some virtue in struggling for their children and making bad decisions. They're like, oh, I overcame the bad decision I made. I'm like, well, why didn't you just not make it in the first place? All right, so what are the tells that a woman has a big ego? The inability to be made fun of without crashing out. I can always tell when you make fun of a woman and she just goes nuts. A lot of times they can dish it out, but they can't take it. They can't see the world outside of themselves. Me, sigh language, shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. A string of bad relationships, constantly being a side chick, works a stupid job and thinks it's more important than it is, has a stupid degree in underwater lesbian dance theory and uses it to look down on people, uses the Bible to put people down and tell men what to do. Now, the female ego in the past, women in the past, I don't think women were very different. But I do think that women had different incentives in the past and opportunity. You know, it's not like my grandmother had the opportunity to move to LA and drop an OnlyFans instead of having 13 kids. I mean, my grandma was on a farm and my grandpa was also on a farm and they're in school and she's like, who's the hottest? You know, I think the story was my grandpa went on a date with my grandma's sister and then after the date, he met my grandma. So my grandma, she's like, I'm going to steal my sister's man or my sister's date. You know, she didn't have the opportunity to drop an OnlyFans or get a useless job in the city or nag on the internet. That wasn't a choice. I mean, she was bored and her way of, fixing her boredom was having 13 children. I mean, my grandma on her deathbed said she wished her only regret in life was she wished she had more kids. This was the grandma that had 9 kids. And this grandma, and I'm like, Grandma, how many more kids did you want to have? And she's like, well, I wish I had 12. I'm like, Grandma. But, it wasn't like my grandma had the opportunity. Who knows what she would have done if she was born in 2025. Okay, in the past, women did demonstrate their value, though. They would not sleep around as much, kind of. I mean, they hit it better. I'll just say that. I don't really, look, for all the debauchery women do today, I don't know how we could even argue women didn't do this stuff in the past. There wasn't different women then. I mean, they were just better at hiding it. But at least she had the decency to go. I mean, I had an aunt, and she said they were throwing it back in the day too, and she was telling her. My point is this: they just did it at bars, but at least there was no digital evidence back then. You know what I mean? Women would not speak to or entertain multiple men publicly. Now women have chats about their rosters on the internet. They would at least have the decency to hide it. Women would date with the intent to marry. So after like 18 or 20. All right. So women's ego in marriage. Women used to marry an average guy and be okay with an average life. But then, we just have this, inner jealousy that we just want better and better and better. So when we started seeing all these people living like celebrities in the cities, we just had to join. Women would value their family over anything else. Women at least would try to be happy to have a family. I mean, when my grandparents died, they were separated. People just separated back then. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm like, these women are different. I mean, even my grandma that had 13 kids had some feminist talking points, or 9 kids. Where I'm like, Grandma. All right. Women would be happy to have a family, not looking for their family to make them happy. Women's egos have always been this way. Women in the past had to hide this because they didn't have the freedom and the power they do now. They did have a lot of power back then, but just not, now we're like drunk on power. We aborted a third of Gen Z. That's a lot of power. Women had to depend on a man to survive, but now those times are gone. Women also, I think it's important to understand, women in the past, their reputation depended on kind of being a good person. No more. You could be a sex worker, a literal person selling nudes, and be treated like a celebrity and still have, get purity points and respect from men. Isn't that crazy? Here's a combo I had with Emily Wilson. I see women getting big egos from jobs that are not as important or special or as needed as the jobs the men are doing, and getting overpaid for them. So what I see happening is they tend to get these big egos thinking they're doing the same thing the men are, but it's very obviously not. Like when you look at the output of society, women like. Great point in the chat. Motown stars, that was a great comment. That's like comparing crime before and after law enforcement. There's always people there to commit crimes, more or less consequences. Yup. Beautiful analogy. Beautiful analogy. That was beautiful. Men make 90% of the world's stuff.
Yeah.
Like our jobs could disappear tomorrow. Society would run fine, but our income is going close to the same. Why is that? We're getting overpaid. So I don't know. I think that personally, like if feminists want to be equal, they should be equal.
You mean go do the difficult jobs to become more equal in that sense?
Correct. Or if you want to vote, I think you should get selective service with it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be married, right? I think it should be 50-50, no child support, no alimony.
Well, okay, but you'll agree. This is like typical women. They're like, we want to be equal unless it's something I don't really like or something that doesn't benefit me. We want all the benefits, but we want none of the negatives. Correct. Okay, so that's pretty much everyday life with women at this point.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I think like I understand his point. But really,
he's just doing this shit for clicks. He saw.
No, I think Myron believes I think he believes what he says. To be honest, what he's talking about is women like Megyn Kelly. She's done the trad wife stuff for years and saying you can do it all. And at some point, like you have to pick. Yeah. You can't really have a full-fledged media career and have young children. Like something's got to give.
Well, something is going to be sacrificed.
Yeah, and that's what I think you were getting at. Is a lot of the women are having these full-fledged media careers and pretending they're trad, and it's just not.
And I'm asking them, how the fuck are you a trad wife when you're online and you're working full time?
Yeah. Okay. So. Dark said she could get it all night, but she would have to leave so I could get some sleep alone. Okay, so we're going to bring up Doug MPA, and then I'm going to put this in the chat if you guys want to call in. What are some things that you've seen women develop huge egos from? Doug MPA, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, how you doing, my friend? What's going on? I love this topic.
Yeah, because I just keep seeing these videos, and the authority women like speak with, I just keep thinking like, you guys are pretty rude for doing nothing jobs. Like, we're all kind of losers right now. There's no humility. Do you know what I mean? There's no humility coming to the table anymore.
Yeah, you can see exactly what you're talking about with the job market. Ever since the beginning of this year, who's been losing most of the jobs? All these women that were throwing their big degrees around and saying that they're better than men and in their air-conditioned offices. What's happening to them? They're getting thrown out on their asses.
They're getting cooked.
Yep, 100%. And that's and guys, some of the symptoms, I think one of the worst symptoms of a woman with a big ego, especially with the B-dubs, is they talk to you like they can beat you in a fight. They will talk to a man like they can kick a man's ass. That's probably the worst symptom of a woman with an ego.
Yeah. So we have a special guest coming on the show today. I don't know how big you are on Twitter or how much you're on Twitter, Doug, but we have Murray Hill guy calling in. He's got 37,000 followers on Twitter, and he has firsthand intel on what the women in New York City are doing.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Let's bring him up. Murray, welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me, Pearl.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Yes, I am living through the simulation of dating in New York, as you mentioned. Yes, with female egos, but also male. I go after both, but yeah, it's fun. I have fun with it. Let's call it that.
This one, it says a 6 out of 10 female can have 1,000 matches on a dating app. 3 exes still in love with 50 dudes from bars texting them, 100 unread Insta DMs, and one guy who she actually likes and he doesn't like her. And they will still complain they're lonely and there are no good guys left.
Yeah, so I mean, this tweet is real, and yes, it's making fun of women on that tweet, but I am going to give shade to the males here. We are also the issue there of just giving attention to females of all looks, sizes, whatever you want to call them. Uh, we're all the issue, and dating apps have played a huge part in that. Where sure, a mid female can go on an app and get thousands of matches in the first few days. Like I have friends, I've seen their Hinge, I've seen their dating apps, and they have endless options of good looking dudes too. Well, well put together, good jobs. And I was like, damn, like what the hell is going on here? How am I supposed to compete with some of these guys that are 6'4" Chads? And I'm not saying I'm not that, but
Can you define terms and give us what you mean by a mid? An example of a mid woman?
Oh yeah, tell me, do you have a famous 6 I can pull up?
Like, what is your idea of a mid for a man and a mid for a woman?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's different for everyone, so like my answer is going to be different than yours. But I'm pretty athletic. I'm pretty well built. I work out every day, so I would expect that in a female as well. So you can almost knock down 3-4 points if a girl is not in good shape to me. So just physically like that, that's a mid to me. Someone that doesn't take care of their body very well. So start with that. Facial features, of course, just someone, I don't know. To me, someone you could look at, say, wow, that's very pretty, would not be a mid, but go below that. I don't know. I don't have a specific person in mind right now. Plus, I don't want to put anyone on blast.
I think Zendaya is a 6.
Who?
I'd put a 5 as average. Zendaya, I put her as slightly above average. Agree? Disagree?
Damn, that's a hot take. in challengers. She's pretty hot.
Well, because I put 8 to 10 is beautiful. So I think if you're an 8 to 10, you can just live off of being hot.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you can star in movies for men. So like Megan
All
Fox,
right.
8 to 10.
Pearl,
Like,
what do you think Sydney Sweeney is if you had to give her a rating?
8 body, 6 face. Slightly
Yeah.
above average. That's what I put her for facially anyway. But body 8 plus.
Well, and Murray, also, we live in the age of mids in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They tried to make movies more women in movies less threatening to the female ego. It's funny because men can see The Rock with his shirt off and Chris Evans with his shirt off and feel inspired to go work out, but women will see a super attractive woman and feel threatened by it and complain. So we're literally in the age of mids. Like Zendaya is mid. Uh, Taylor Swift is
I was
mid.
about I was about to say her. I was going to use her as an example.
Thank you
That's a
so
good
my
one.
much.
six.
That's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
was literally about to say her. Yeah, that I don't even like if imagine if she was just walking down the street, would you even say she's a 6? Like it could be a 5. No ass, no body really.
Murray, she's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I've been to Scranton, Pennsylvania, right?
So
You
far.
can't throw a rock without hitting a Taylor Swift in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean it depends on location too. Like the big cities. I'm in New York. There's beautiful women when I walk outside. So it is it's more competitive here. Same with other big cities. If you go to the suburbs, like yeah, if you see a really good looking girl, she's gonna stand out like crazy.
Okay,
So um
so go ahead.
so can you tell me about you said that a lot of women have sugar daddies in New York. How common is that? Like if you met 10 women on the street, how many have a sugar daddy? I think I saw a tweet of yours that
Yeah,
said that.
there's yeah. I don't even know if I call them sugar daddies, but a few of my female friends just have dudes that just pay for like dinners and Uber rides and U.S. Open tickets even this past week, and they're not banging them or anything. So like I don't even know what the definition of a sugar daddy truly is anymore. Uh, Out of 10, I would say probably like one or two, honestly, which is super high. It's just they have these like simp males that just will pay for anything, and yeah, I don't even know if they're like getting sex in return. It's crazy. Maybe even more. Maybe even 2 to 3. I don't know. And in the past, I like 5 6 years ago before COVID, when I was still living here, like I never even heard of anything like that. Maybe I'm a little bit older now, but it's absurd.
So like where are they meet like
They're older guys. They meet them at like nicer bars. That's just what I've seen. I don't think they're meeting them on dating apps because I don't know. Like again, going back to the endless options. Yeah, one of my friends met, uh, call it a sugar daddy at like a really nice steakhouse bar or a hotel
Mhm.
bar. So they're just sitting there posting up, and these guys that are all over 40, some 50 years old with tons of money, not good looking, but they're just spending money. And if a girl wants to be like that, it's very easy to find. Just go ahead, pull up to a nice hotel bar, go to a steakhouse bar, and just sit there. And I guarantee if you are decent looking, you'll get approached by one of these men.
Well, because
Which
I guess my question is, are they just hoping eventually it'll happen and they give like 10 girls tickets to the US Open, hoping one will like they'll smash one or like
something,
what's yeah.
yes, something is genetically wrong with these men. And that's what, going back to my first statement, men are a big problem. They somehow are getting off by spending money on girls they may or may not sleep with. I think yes, in the back of their mind, they think, yes, if I spend X amount of dollars on this girl, thousands of dollars, she'll want to sleep with me. But in
Mm.
fact, when I was I'm not gonna throw out names, but when I was with one of these girls, she was like clowning the dude, like it was like hilarious. This guy pays for all my Ubers. This guy's paying for my U.S. Open tickets and drinks, thousands of dollars, and I actually got a free ticket out of that. But yeah,
Okay.
she's clowning him. She's
Hey.
yeah. So I mean, the guy didn't know I was there. She said she brought like two of her girlfriends, so she's my friend. Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, something's wrong with these guys. It's crazy. But again, it's bad for like guys like me that are actually trying to date like these girls. They're good looking too. Like how I can't like they're messed up in the head now. Their egos are gonna be like so high of like wow, they're gonna expect guys to kind of spend this money on them, and I'm never gonna do that. It's crazy. I
Um,
don't know.
do you see the women in New York having bigger egos than other cities? Have you lived anywhere else? Is it like worse there, would you say?
See, I don't have exact like yeah, I've never lived. I lived in the middle of Jersey, and I went to school in Pennsylvania and college. I don't really have any data there, but yeah, I mean, I talked to like my friends in Philly, which is still East Coast. I have a few friends out in Texas. Uh, it's different types of egos, I would say. I think the options in these big cities are still there, but New York girls are very they're very stuck up, and they don't waste time. So like I go on a first date either off a dating app or someone I met like at a bar or like a run club, which is good for me because I work out a lot. And yeah, if you don't have a good first date, they'll just kick you to the curb like real quick. That's just kind of how it is in New York, and I've learned kind of in other places it's not as competitive, and girls will kind of give you more of a chance. But it's almost like yeah, like why would they waste their time on me or someone else if they didn't have a good time when there's thousands of options in their pocket. So it's tough. I had a tweet one day. It's very easy to get laid in New York, but very tough to find a meaningful connection, and I stand by that. With someone that you really want to, like, yes, if I dated down, or if a girl dated down, if anyone dated down, you can get married in a year. But I'm saying for people that are high value and want to match with their value, then it's very difficult to find that. But it's fun. I have fun with it. It's part of the game, and uh, I think everyone should, try and strive for the best.
I saw a tweet of yours that was, I can't remember what it exactly said, but you said it was something like you're most likely to get ghosted after you've spent like 3 weeks straight with them, or you spent like a weekend out of state together.
Yeah. Um,
Can you tell me what happened? Or what, like,
yeah. No,
inspired
I
that
remember
tweet?
that one. Yeah. No, I spent like it wasn't even planned. I spent yeah, like 3 straight days with a girl. It was not planned. It was like a holiday weekend. Uh, 3 years ago. It was a while, but it was in New York, and like I actually thought I really liked her, because you spend 3 days with someone, which is absurd. What I don't even know how it happened. Just kind of just stayed with each other, kept making new plans, and yeah, I actually thought I really liked her, and then the next week she said she wasn't interested in me. It's like a shock to my system. Like holy shit! Like how does someone go from like basically dating, even though we weren't, like we just met, to saying she's not interested? I still don't know to this day. I thought about that for a long time, like months. Like, what did I do? And I still to this day don't have answers. But yeah, I mean, Doug, chime in there. 3 straight days of hanging out with someone, and then I get a text like 5 days later saying, "Hey, don't feel a connection," and it happens. It's like a common thing here.
Was it one of those where she was staying at your place and you guys literally spent like you, you spent all the entire 3 days together? Did she leave and come back, or
Dude,
was it
no,
just
man,
all three
no.
days?
It was straight 3 days. Like we went to my place, we went to her place. It was not planned. It was like a Friday to Sunday thing, and we had it was like Memorial Day 3 years ago, so we had Monday off, and then yeah, we went back Monday, but it was like nonstop, just partying, and uh, not all. Like Sunday we chilled and like got food, but yeah, it was insane. I've
Uh,
never done that bad. Like I've spent like hours with someone, but that was like an absurd situation. So I would never do that. I would never do that again.
reminds you that Craig David song. Remember, I met this girl on Monday. Anyway, you think that she took a break from her ex?
Dude, yeah, that you're right. That's a lot. A lot of comments were like that. Like I was just
Yeah,
like,
she took a break from her ex, got out of her system, and odds are the guy has no idea that you blew that back
yeah,
out for 3 days straight.
shit,
Do you know what? That reminds me of
it's
like
crazy.
that reminds me of like college. I feel like college people would get
I
together and
wasn't
hook
that
up
young.
so fast.
I
You
was
go.
like 26 years old. It was yeah, I was heartbroken for 2 days.
Did you ever see her again or no?
No, no, I never saw her. I never heard of her. I no, I removed her on Instagram, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I was like pissed and young back then. No, like checked in a few times on online, but I don't see anything. But I never reached out. It was crazy.
Is she the one that got away?
No, no, not actually. It was a fairy tale type story, but I still don't know to this day what I did wrong.
So what about the guys in New York City? You said the guys have big egos there too?
Definitely, the high value guys are similar to females in terms of moving on pretty quick, and I'm one of them. I would say I don't waste time, so
Mhm.
I've gone on many first dates where I just don't see anything going forward, and uh, I end it. Like I'm not gonna continue to see someone that there's no point to see, and I would say a lot of my friends are the same way. Uh, but then again, I have friends on the other side that have met great, amazing girls that they've gotten married to in New York. So, but I definitely see my single friends, myself included, just yeah, we have big egos. Just we see ourselves as high value. We don't waste time, and it's not a bad thing, but it's tough to date here, I would say.
What are some of the things that turn you guys off about the women you're dating that makes you not want to see them again?
Oh man, well, as of recent, a girl being liberal, super liberal. That's as of recent
Ah,
though.
let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I don't know. Like, yeah, that's how I kind of blew up in the past few months. Yeah, Doug, I'm not sure how familiar you are, but yeah, I just canceled a date on a girl that brought up politics before I even met her. But I used to not care that much, but now, I don't know, I'm older now, and I kind of know what I want, and I do not want someone bringing up politics either way, right wing or left. I would be more considerate with right wing, but yeah, if someone asked me if I voted for the crazy Democratic mayor, I'm not interested in really going out with her. But that's been something that has happened the past few months now, where I just see, uh, yeah, girls being like super liberal or annoying, and I'm not interested in that. Other things, I mean, smaller stuff for me, like not working out, but that's everywhere. Uh, I don't know, just being a little bit older and trying to date with a little bit more intention, not trying to mess around too much anymore. Seeing who's serious, who's not. Plays a part too. I've noticed that the over 30-year-old girls are super boring. They just don't excite me, and they've been doing this for so many years. It's like, geez, like what's wrong with you almost? Uh, so I don't know. There's a lot of things.
See, Murray, I talked to because I'm in the DMV and I'm having also, the DMV has its problems too when it comes to dating. And Pearl's just like, I tell her these tales of going out on dates with these women, and Pearl's like, why don't you just this? And why don't you just listen to them? And why don't you just? She doesn't understand when you're going out with these women, especially the ones over 30. They're so boring. It's just like because your time is so valuable as you get older.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, I
like
mean,
to sit there and listen to these women talk, especially when you plan a date, you're taking them on an experience and they ruin it by talking about the dumbest stuff. It's like I'd rather be at home by myself working on something that can better my life than sitting here talking to this broad. Can you please explain this to bro? Because she keeps saying all you have to do is just sit there and just listen to these women. Just blah
Not what
blah blah.
that
no,
is that
there
is not what I said. That is not what I
there's
said.
something.
I said, don't you want to get laid? You're not gonna get laid arguing with them. Like you're already there.
No, yeah,
God.
you look. There's two ways to look at it. yes, if you're just looking to get laid and they're attractive, you might have to sit there and kind of listen to them a little bit. But if you're not trying to get laid and actually trying to get to know them, you can kind of know if there's a spark within the first few minutes. And yes, the spark can build, but I've gone on so many dates where I feel like I could just have had a quick FaceTime or a phone call before I met them and would have known, wow, I would never have gone out with them. So I actually am way more selective than call it my early 20s in the past few years. That's why I'm not trying to text them, if I, especially off an app or even if I meet them once, I'm not going to text them really that much. But sometimes I do give a phone call or a FaceTime before I meet someone, just quick, just to almost screen them. Like, shit, are they really this boring over the phone? Then yeah, they're probably gonna be boring over in real life. So I've done that before,
I've
but
I've always wanted to ask, since you date men and women, what is the difference
I don't.
in?
He doesn't date men
wait,
and
what?
Oh
wait,
wait,
what?
oh wait, I thought you said never mind. I missed something at the beginning. Sorry.
Are you good?
Uh,
Okay.
I thought that. Sorry, X that. I thought I heard something because on on dating apps, I try to tell people how boring women are in person and in dating apps. Women are just boring, especially the ones where women are supposed to reach out first. It's like, come on.
Yeah, Bumble. Yeah, women have no riz. They they are pretty boring, but as they say, they're looking for the man to take charge. But even when we do take charge, half the time they don't even answer. So it's tough.
How many dates do you go on a week usually? And what would you say the average woman in New York? How many do they go on a week?
It really depends on what's going on in my week. So I prioritize work and kind of other stuff scheduling. So I try to not go on more than two, honestly. In the past, I have gone on more in a week and it just gets exhausting. So really just one, max two, sometimes zero. Occasionally, if I have a easier week at work, then I'll go on three, maybe four, but I would say one to two. Girls, easier. They have endless options and their dates are free. I have friends that are going on five plus. I have friends that are going on seven. Again, depends on kind of where they're at in their life. The 30-year-olds, they're going hard. They are like desperate and 30 plus. They're like looking for love very intensely. I have a few friends that are going on every day, and sometimes multiple a day, which is absurd. And I yell at them, but yeah,
Well,
I,
what percent of guys do they actually hook up with if they're going on that many dates?
the older ones, yeah, we can get into that. The older ones, they refuse to hook up on first dates because of they did that in their younger age. And I hate that excuse. I've gotten that myself in person, and I've actually flipped it on them to actually hook up with them, like literally freaking mind fuck them. Like, why would it's disrespectful to me that you would do that in your previous self and not do it to me today? Like, I make them feel bad about themselves, which is probably not the best idea, but it works. I don't know. Percentage depends on the age. I would say younger. Uh, one out of every three, 33%. Older, probably one out of every like five, six.
And how many guys would you say they go through in a month?
Uh, one to two, honestly. There's not. I don't think too many more if they're good. If call it if they're a good girl, but there's outliers on both sides. One to two. If they're active, they're going on dates. They're drinking and going out. I think that's a fair number. I know you're probably expecting higher, but I don't
Mm,
think it's that much higher.
No, I'd say that's about right. There's like
Yeah.
probably 20% of women that go like ham, I would say. Like with
Yeah.
super high sex drives or like they just I don't know. You get that on occasion, but I wouldn't say that's normal.
It depends on age. It depends on age. I think New York is a very high hookup culture, and if like I said, if you want it, you can get it pretty easily. Like I could, if I really wanted to. today's Tuesday. If I did a hard swipe on Hinge tonight, like I'm talking like 100 girls, I could probably hook up with one by the weekend. Now, would it be a high quality one? Maybe not, but it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Um, I've heard some guys say it's hard to get women to stick around. Have you had that problem? Where
Yeah,
like
that
they can
with
hook up with them easy, but they like getting them to stay is like the harder part. Go ahead.
100%. That goes with that kind of long term connection. Yeah, I mean, one night stands are they're sadly common in New York. I've been a part of too many of them, and have seen friends been a part of them. Goes back to the number of options, and I don't know. It's weird. Like sometimes you think you have a great night, and then you both just never reach out. It's like a mind game. I think people play a lot of games here where they don't like who should reach out first. They don't admit their feelings if they like someone. It's very challenging in New York. It's a tough place to date, to truly build a connection. Uh, I've struggled with it the past 6 years, but yeah, that's very common. I'm not sure if it's common where you guys are, but it's tough
I
to
think
keep someone around.
the worst game is that game that women play when the check comes and they act like they're reaching for their purse, knowing dang well that they're not going to pay the bill, but they want you to grab it and say, "Oh, I got it." And like, "Oh, okay, he has it." So I shouldn't feel bad about him paying for dinner. Have you had that happen on a
I've had
date?
that. I have a lot.
It's so dumb.
So actually, yeah, I would say in the past like 2 years, it is dumb, and I'm not. If I'm taking a girl out, if I ask her out, well, one, I'm not taking them out to dinner on a first date or a second date. Uh, so if I'm going out for drinks, if I ask them, I will pay, and the date goes well, like nothing goes too crazy. But there's a big thing with me. If they don't say the words "thank you" or something along those lines, I will never talk to them again. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I I kind of expect that at least to that for them to say the words "thank you" or to show some type of gratitude that uh it was worth their time. What do you think of that, Pearl?
No, I agree. I think there's like basic just being polite. So it's pretty not polite if
No,
they don't say thank
yeah, I
you.
remember I had a really good date with a girl maybe like 6 months ago, and I would have loved to see her again. The check came. Bills are expensive in New York. 2, 3 drinks add up. I paid because I thought it was going well, and she didn't say thank you. She didn't text me thank you, and I never saw her again. So it was pretty disappointing, honestly. But I don't still that's an ego. It's got to be an ego thing of she expected me to pay, and she didn't even need to say thank you, or just bad parenting or something. I don't even know.
Yeah. So, top 3 things that you would say build women's egos to be super big in New York City.
Yeah, number one is the attention. So going back to that tweet, they just have unlimited attention from guys they don't even like, but they know that, so it's just building their ego. Uh, mm, I mean, going off of that, number two, almost like expectations. So, yeah, Doug, almost what you said. They expect guys to pay for first dates, second dates, dinners. And now these damn sugar daddies in the play, like they're expecting U.S. Open tickets and expensive ass meals and sports games, whatever. Uh, so I'm trying to think of a third one. Attention, expectations. Uh, I don't know. I would say like just the culture of New York, just moving so fast paced. I'm not sure how it really lies to ego, but a lot of these girls have like bossy girl jobs. They built up their ego at work. They get promoted or whatever. Uh, Something along those lines of work related, where their egos are building up at work, and they're kind of expecting that in dating that the guy has to have a really good job and goes back to expectations of treating them well. Not sure how to exactly word it, but if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Doug MPA, you got any other questions for him?
What are some of the biggest signs? So if your friend brings a girl over to hang out and she has a big ego, like
That's a good
what
question.
what would be the signs where you could let's say I were to bring a girl over to your house and you were to be sizing her up to see if she has a big ego, like what would you be looking for to be like, oh man? And then you tell me, I'd be like, hey, Mary, what do you think of that girl? And you what if she had a big ego, like what would you what would you be looking for and what would you tell me would be signs of a big
Yeah.
ego?
No, that's a great question. I'm just looking, and I'm not looking for anything specific. One, if she just gets along with everyone that's there, one gets along with you, of course, uh, is like nice, like says the word thank you if I for even being at my place, or if I bring her something, provide stuff for the party or whatever's going on. If she doesn't provide that, then yeah, I know she has an ego right there. She's kind of just that expectation that everything is going to be gifted to her. Um, a lot of girls are annoying. I don't know if that has anything to do with ego, but if they're complaining as a guest, or I'm the guest in your place, I look for that. Like, just don't complain, especially if you're hanging around your boyfriend's friends. Like, just don't complain. Those two things right there are the big ones, especially with the complaining. I can't stand when I see my friends' girlfriends just complaining. If we're at a sports game, they're like, I want to go home. Like, damn, we like brought you there. Like, you're our guest. Don't complain. Just deal
Yeah.
with it.
Well, it's like, why are you there?
Exactly.
Like, why are you
Yeah,
there?
they
I
have that
don't
main
think the
character
guys.
syndrome.
Yeah, it's not like the guys are like dying to have women at boys' nights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's our
It's
treat. It's the girls' treats to join in with the guys, especially sports games. That's what I do a lot. So we bring, friends bring their girlfriends, and some of them complain, and I'm just like, you don't have to be here. You can go do your own thing. So I hate that. That's an ego thing.
Um,
That's a great question, though.
yeah, I think one of the biggest things that shows a woman has a big ego, and I was talking to Pro about that earlier, is when she talks to men like she can beat them in a fight.
Yeah.
So
So
she
like,
literally starts getting knucked, and you're like, whoa! And it doesn't even have to be like voice raised up. When they start going into that man territory, you know what I'm saying, where she's talking shit, and you're like, you're a girl, you know? What are
Doug,
you doing?
Doug dates black women.
yeah, that alpha type energy. The girl boss, as we call it in New York. They give that corporate voice. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
have heard that. They talk in New
Oh
York.
yeah, the corporate voice. I know exactly. It's not like aggressive, but it's so
No,
condescending. It's like
it's very
super condescending. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and they put their chin down while they're doing it. Yeah, they kind of tilt their head forward while they're. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You said something earlier about run clubs, because I used to. I tell guys in my area, guys, you want to get women. You're better waking up at 7 a.m. and doing a 5K on Saturday night. No, on Saturday morning, than you are going to the club on Friday night, because running is a female-dominated activity. Run clubs, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. What has your success rate been like uh, at run clubs?
yeah. I mean, it's one of my passions. So
Oh, you're
uh,
you're breaking
Kind of
up. You're
breaking
breaking up.
out.
yeah, you guys are breaking up. So
Uh
it's like mad staticky. I don't know. I
oh.
didn't.
Still breaking up. Hello,
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause I can Doug talk.
hello. Yeah,
You
I'm here.
see,
Can
it's
you hear
on
me?
his end. Yeah, sorry. I muted
Not
you for a
me.
second to see. Yeah, I think it's on your end because I muted you and
I
it's
I hear
clear.
the static. I'll come back in for a second.
Okay. I'll read a super chat anyway. We got Uncle Tiger sneezes. These 304s don't got no manners. I'll bring up Taxman though while we're waiting for Murray. Um, hey, Taxman, welcome to the show. He's been waiting a while, so he might
Axman, you're on mute. But yeah, I couldn't imagine New York City. I gotta give him credit for living in New York City, let alone dating in New York City. I feel bad for all the people that come here legally, all the immigrants who come here legally, and the only place they've been is Washington, D.C. and New York City. It's like Washington, D.C. and freaking D.C. and New York are the left ass cheek and the right ass cheek of America. Because people are just so rude. And I can only imagine the women. I wonder if the women are worse than, well, I'd probably say New York. New York, women have to be worse than New York City.
Maybe I'm biased. I think the Midwestern girls are pretty nice.
Yeah, they are.
I think a guy could do well. If I had to pick a Midwestern city, I would actually pick Ohio or Wisconsin, because you're not competing with like big city stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go to Milwaukee or like Madison's a really good one. There's a lot of college girls there, because you're not competing with like yachts in Chicago and like the LA, like Miami parties. And same with when I was in Ohio, there's a lot of pretty girls there.
Yeah.
So
Columbus, Ohio is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. Columbus is great. Anyway, Murray, are you there? Uh-oh, is he there?
It's okay. What disturbs me is how women can easily throw away or trade up a good man for a higher tier man, a hot guy, when the opportunity presents itself to them. I know men are like good people, so they don't always do that. Although I do see the younger guys being a little more ruthless, I won't lie, and I say good for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, he said thanks for having me. I figured no worries. He's gonna
put the link back in the chat and pin it, because it's not pinned.
No worries. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard something about his dating preferences at the beginning of the call. That was totally my mistake. I apologize.
No, he said that men and women have big egos. Like he's seen it with men. Now he's dating the men.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Murray. I apologize. I thought that meant that he. Yeah. So I apologize. That was my fault.
It's all right. It's not a big deal.
We can edit that out.
Later. Okay, wait. How do I pin this? I don't know if I can do it in StreamYard.
I'll do it.
Okay. Other places I've seen women have big egos. I think the nagging jobs do a lot, because women start to think they're, oh, do you know what? We should react to that video that I sent you about that woman crashing out about me, like saying that women shouldn't nag men. Where did I send you that? Do you have it? Like, I don't remember where I sent you that. Did I text it to you?
I think you did. It was where a woman was. Oh yeah. With Lila Rose.
Yeah, put it in the private chat and we'll react to it after we talk to Jackson. Welcome to the show.
Hey. So the subject right now is women's ego and sort of what boosts it, correct?
Yeah, like inflated though. Like we're okay with ego if it's like warranted. You know, like I think
it's on the document, Pearly.
Yeah, it's okay for Trump to have a big ego, because I mean it's Trump, right? But when women do nothing and have big egos, that's where it's like, eh. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the biggest places I've seen this is I've called in a few times before. I'm a Christian, and in the church, there's this sort of strange view that a lot of people hold. And I mean, a lot of people in the church hold this or some form of this, which is basically that women are promiscuous because they have low self-esteem. And so what a lot of these churches do, like at youth groups and pastors, etc., is I've noticed that they like try to boost the women's self-confidence as much as possible, right? Like another YouTuber, My Two Cents, he talks about this, and I have the same experience as him, where when they would talk to the boys in a youth group or something, it would be more of a shaking your finger kind of thing, like don't look at porn, don't quote unquote objectify women, whatever the hell that means, don't blah blah blah. Whereas the women, the message to the women was always, don't settle, don't put up with anything less than what you are made for. You're a daughter of the king, etc., etc. And I remember one stark example of this that I saw this was several years ago now, probably like 7 or 8 years ago. There was a college age group that I went to where they were talking about dating, and a woman was speaking, and she was talking about how basically like the whole message was basically just a female self-esteem boost. And I remember at one point she said, and for you guys there, do you not find a woman with confidence attractive? And I blurted out no really loudly, and everyone started and yeah, everyone just started laughing. And I was just like, she was like, why? I'm like, it was so like I've seen this pattern over and over again. It's this very strange view. I don't even know where it comes from. Like, you might think, is there some Bible verse that says something like this that they understand? If there is, I haven't read it, and I've actually, I think, pretty sure I've read every book of the Bible. So I don't think, if there is some verse they use to come to this conclusion, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I think this weird belief that women are promiscuous due to a lack of self-esteem is at the heart of a lot of at least Christian women's egos.
Well, I mean, it might lower the self-esteem when you get ghosted.
That's true. That's true.
But I don't think women go and like throw it back because they have low self-esteem. You know?
Yeah. I don't think women start OnlyFans because they have a low self-esteem, for example.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Murray about if he's ghosted women in New York and what his experience was, and did they crash out? But he had to go, because that was literally my next question was. But maybe he'll call in again. We'll talk to him. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's basically it. It's just I've seen this or some form of it over and over again. It might not all be 100% because of this idea that it's what causes promiscuity, although that's a huge part of it. I also think there's just sort of a natural simping that is out there that's especially bad in the Christian church. But nonetheless, yeah, I think that a lot of women who are raised in the church are raised with all of these expectations of what men should do, how a Christian man should be, and don't really have anything for themselves because they've just always been told, don't settle, you're a daughter of the king, etc. And then on the other hand, you'll have women who become Christians, sometimes after a promiscuous past or something like that, who are now getting the same thing, where they have sort of a newfound sense of ego. So yeah, I think that's a huge factor, and that's basically it.
And then there's no work because it's not like they have to be a good person to get that praise.
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
It's like you should only not settle if you're like an incredible woman that deserves a lot, but sometimes you deserve a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everyone can deserve a lot, you know.
Yeah. And what's
how much
funny
confidence? Just real quick, you don't really have to have confidence like that if your church is facilitating, Christian relationships between Christian men and women. How much confidence does a woman need to have when her father is betting the man, or the men in her life are betting the man? She doesn't have to have any confidence at all.
Exactly. No, exactly right. Like that's a whole other sort of rabbit hole discussion of why did Christians ever abandon arranged marriages, even though that's the biblical standard, and that's the view that makes definitely the most sense for sort of this purity-oriented ideology, right? Because then you wouldn't have, you would have people actually being able to find a partner. Women's hypergamy would be limited, etc. So yeah, that's a whole other point there.
Yeah. I'm going to read a couple super chats. We got, has anyone ever noticed the droves of women, especially the female YouTubers on social media platforms, are always having mental health issues? Yeah, us female YouTubers, we just have a tendency to crash out. Women's egos vanish real quick as soon as physical labor shows up. Even in Walmart, none of the ladies show up to pull pallets in the fresh area, not one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I agree. That's a really good point. Doug MPA, you got any other questions for him?
I do not. Thanks for calling in, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that
No
was a
problem.
great call. Thanks for calling in.
I will get back to listening to the show. Thanks.
Thanks. All right, we got Jay. Jay, you got your ID as your profile picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was gonna say. All right, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you were aware.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. So, what have you noticed gives women big egos?
I just think it's the whole lesson of you're always a princess, and like from like the time they're little kids, they're just taught they're always supposed to have the best. I also don't think women are capable of being ever satisfied with like a life situation. Like, you know how you always talk about like being alpha and like, be rich? Those guys don't do better. Like, I guess they're doing better than the Simps because they're not getting treated like shit every day. But like, if you look at like rich dudes, they get screwed over just as much.
Yeah, they totally do. Everybody gets screwed because we're women.
Yeah. I think that the only way you can not be screwed over is if you're that part of MGTOW that's like screw having a girlfriend or like just in general. I don't think you can really be happy just being that alpha male that's just like the red pill side that's like, oh, I'm always gonna, never do what the woman like. Eventually, if you have a relationship with one long enough, I think you always give in to being like simpy a little bit eventually. I think the only people that don't do that are guys not in relationships, without exception, or guys in relationships that don't really give a fuck about those girls.
So you think the relationship builds a woman's ego?
I think a relationship over time, women will be unsatisfied with no matter what they have. If they have a rich guy who's like got all the money, then they'll crave somebody who wants to be at home. If they got an at-home guy, they'll crave a rich guy. If they got they got a dangerous guy, they'll crave a safe guy. If they got a safe guy, they'll crave a dangerous guy. I don't think women are ever satisfied with anything.
Yep, sorry. I agree.
That's 100%. True. That's totally true. Thanks for calling in, Jay. Call in anytime, okay?
You're welcome. Thanks, Pearl.
We got Mr. Bobo. Mr. Bobo, welcome to the show. Nope, nothing. 5, 4, 3, 2, kicked. All right, we're moving on to. You got to move fast. Look, I need you guys to be ready. All right, it's in the. So now we're gonna watch this.
Before we do that, guys, make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We're over. You got us to 2 million. We're on our way to 3 million. So subscribe. Go to Pearl's website and join. Go to the audacitynetwork.com. We'd love to have you over there. If you sign up, you get unlimited super chats. If you put Pearl Reach, she will read it. So go over there, sign up. We also have memberships on YouTube. So hit that join button because the cost of membership is less than the price of a cup of coffee each month. Coffee is expensive. So yeah, so hit that join button, like, subscribe. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So this is an example of a woman's ego being destroyed. Now, we're going to call her Naggy Nag. And I'm ready to nag her right back. I'm coming, bitch. Okay, so this woman, all right, we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch
a video of Lila Rose on Pearl's podcast, and there's a segment of that episode in which they talk about whether women should tell men what to do, or at least this is how.
Now, these are women usually that just love telling their husbands what to do, and so me saying you can't, you're not supposed to tell men what to do under a Christian worldview. It kind of makes these women crash out because they're like, no, my power. But no, my power to nag.
Pearl framed the issue. And I'm going to make some comments about what they said, their exchange. First, I'm going to play the clip here, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I would have said to Pearl if I were having the conversation with her.
So what kind of behaviors are you telling men are bad?
Well, again, I think it's more like, for example, when it comes to sexual ethics, I've been pretty open with my.
Do you know what? These women always talk about porn, but they never talk about these female romance novels that are worse than porn, really. Yep. I mean, porn, it's like the slutty student, or like, it's like they get right to it. It's like, oh, hey, hello, banging.
Or how about this? Porn promotes maybe sex that isn't realistic, but guys, we don't have an expectation that we're going to be having sex all the time. Romance novels promote a lifestyle that is unrealistic, promotes behavior in men that is unrealistic. Women expect men to behave like the romance novels men all the time. They expect that romance in their life 24/7. So I'd say
my content
romance novels are infinitely worse.
Exactly.
About the harm of pornography and the harm of promiscuity. And I think that's a message not just for men, that's a message for women too. So but you will tell men what to do when it comes to sexual promiscuity. I saw you do it with Justin Waller. So you're going to tell men what they should do when it comes to porn and sexual promiscuity. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, do not look at porn. I'm going to say, do not.
That's the thing with these women. I never get a modest look from them. They always have caked on makeup, like very like her eyebrows are different. I can always tell when a woman's had a lot of Botox because her eyebrows become different. It's just, which is fine. Look at, I'm not above the Botox. Like I think it's fine, but it's just when I think of a religious woman, I think someone that's not into like the worldly stuff, and I think of like a modest appearance. Like Lila Rose is one of the few podcasts that offered me a makeup artist. I'm like, do you know what I mean? That just doesn't, I'm not saying it's wrong per se, but it's like repainting your face, anyways.
Be sexually promiscuous, and it's for your good.
And that's why I think you're a feminist, because I think that any woman that nags men and tells men what to do is a feminist.
You don't get to selectively apply the word nagging and get away with it. What you call nagging is any feedback whatsoever that a woman gives to a man or to men in general. In other words, it doesn't even have to be a specific feedback given to a specific man. Even if a woman makes general comments about what is and what is not acceptable male behavior, you call this nagging. But when...
True. And this is the thing. They don't even understand. It goes over their head that they have an egalitarian model, because you telling men what to do, it implies that you're above them.
Yep.
Like you don't go to your boss and tell him what to do.
Yep.
You might disagree with your boss, but.
And remember, Pearly, these Lila Rose is a Christian woman. She's claiming to be Christian, and when she claims to be, and I'm guessing this woman is too, but you don't have to be a Christian. You claim to be it, and you choose to live by the guidelines that come along with that lifestyle. One of them is not telling men what to do.
And you don't have to do it publicly. It could be, your faith could be a private thing.
Yep.
You don't have to put it in your Instagram bio. You know what I mean? You don't have to pray on camera.
Men do it to women. It's called leadership.
Yeah, because it's not equal.
Called instruction.
It's tough. Do you know what I mean? Our default is nagging. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to not do, right? Like it's kind of our default as women, but it's just, we got to see this for, I'm not even saying it like, I'm not saying we can't struggle with this, but to get better, to improve at something, you got to first acknowledge that it exists, right? And they can't even get that far,
It's called edification. In other words, you're going to give a positive spin to men when they nag and a negative spin to women when they nag.
Wait.
You're going to.
But she said a man nagging is leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she just say that?
No, she was saying that I said that.
Oh, okay.
Glorify male nagging and villainize female nagging. Okay, this is Pearl's strategy. Call it out. The term that Pearl needs to hear is called fraternal correction.
They just make up these big words. That no one cares about. And it's just to nag you in a different way. Now she's going to try to nag me. She's like, the men, I didn't nag enough. Now I need to nag Pearl.
Pearl's view of men and women is fundamentally incompatible with Catholic anthropology. Her view.
This is the thing. The Christian women, I really would recommend men stay away because they've learned too much. Do you know what I mean? Like they've learned how to weaponize the Bible to nag you. So not only are you going to be nagged by your wife, you're going to be nagged by the pastor because she's going to be in the pastor's ear. Now he gets to nag you. And then you also get to be nagged by her like Bible group. So then you get to be nagged by her. And at home, then she gets to recite Bible verses to you and nag you even more.
There you go.
Flows
you nailed it.
From a form of individualism, male-centered individualism. But in Christianity, we do not atomize the person. The human person always has to be understood within the context of an entire creation. And because Jesus Christ entered the world, entered that creation, and sanctified it, he has elevated our understanding of that creation and therefore our understanding of man. It is elevated. This is the Christian view, which is why I mentioned earlier fraternal correction. There's no room for fraternal correction in a worldview that diminishes the value of women and says you basically have nothing of value to offer men.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. You basically do have nothing to offer men. I mean, you ladies, because we have nothing to offer, you keep me employed because I'm the only one that can point it out because everyone's afraid they're going to get nagged by you women forever. And you're proving them right. So congratulations.
And in terms of speech, you have no feedback, no insight, nothing instructive or constructive to say because you're a female. That is false. It flows from a pagan view of women, not from a Christian view.
Now it goes back to you're not a real Christian. You're not a real Catholic.
This is insanity.
Yeah,
this is insanity.
I mean, I love it. I love it when the women nag me and then prove me right.
Yep. I asked Pro earlier today. I was just like, how do you? It must be so hard living as a woman sometimes, and then having faith too. Like how do you do it? Like how with stuff like this going on? It has to be.
My faith these women have weakened my faith. These women, I won't even lie to you. I think in my early 20s, I would have considered myself religious. And it's just faded. And it's really because I've just seen how easily manipulated the men are and how naggy the women are. And I know they say like that shouldn't weaken your faith because it's like between you and God. But I'm like, if all the people that are in the church are like this, and if anything, I would say they're worse. These are the people learning the stuff. Doesn't it like, do you know what I mean? Like if I look at a diet and I see everyone's fat on the diet, then it kind of makes me think the diet, I don't want to say that maybe it doesn't work, but it makes me question it a little bit, right? So that's kind of how I feel about being religious is is I would say I believe in God, but these women have nagged me out of church. Congratulations, ladies, you did it. Like, I'm out. You win. You win. I want to go to a church where they ban women. All right.
Calls Lila a feminist as if this is some sort of takedown or as if she's undermining her position. She didn't undermine it at all. It would be like me thinking that I've discredited someone by saying, well, I think if you play sports, then that makes you an athlete. Sure, that makes the person an athlete. Great. Or if I say to someone,
women are so dumb.
I think if
that was like the worst analogy of all time. I could like give you a better analogy, but that was just not. I mean, if you play sports, you are an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean you're a good athlete, but you know.
If you promote having children and having families, then that makes you a natalist. Okay. I think sometimes a lot of these.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you are not helping. You are making me more sexist by the day, these ladies.
Influencers, especially the ones that.
Oh, this is a perfect guy to have on to react to this too. What's going on? Reclaim your throne. How are you?
What up? What up? How you doing?
Good. I'll let you react to the rest of this and then I'll give you the question for the day.
Okay.
This woman was very triggered because I said that any woman that tells men what to do is a feminist.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a Christian woman. So
okay, let's get it.
That are very successful at stirring up controversy and generating, reactions, have to be reminded that calling something an ist or an ism is not a refutation. All you're doing is naming something. Name away. If that's what helps you to sort the information you're hearing, categorize it in your mind, but you're not refuting the position.
But they don't understand. They're coming from an egalitarian model. Because if you're telling men what to do, then you think of yourself as the same or above them because you're telling them what to do. So yeah, go ahead.
So to catch up, reclaim your throne. So she used the clip of Pearl because Lila said that it's her duty to tell men to not watch porn and and all these different things. And Pearl says, well, that's why you're a feminist, because you're a Christian, but you take it upon yourself to tell men what to do. And this woman is trying to say that that's a worldly view, because that not considering a woman's position is not Christian-like, and Pearl's coming from a worldly view and all this stuff. And we're like, what?
And I said that was her ego crashing out. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to go biblical, the Bible is very clear about women, not leading the church, not speaking up, being seen and not heard. So, I mean, I don't think that's the route that she wants to go to justify her point. But, you can tell that she's kind of like a hit dog hollering right here, because she obviously is, desiring to tell men what to do, how to act, how to maneuver in society, but ultimately to benefit women. It's not really how the man can become successful or how he can earn more, for his own self-esteem, but it's more of a fact that so he can just be a better man to the women or what they believe to be a better man. So that's kind of what I'm picking up from what she's saying and what her vibe is coming across as.
Yeah. So going back to the topic, because I just thought it'd be fun to react to that. I was talking about things that build up women's egos. And then I've noticed that when they have like certain jobs, they get big egos, especially nagging positions. Like I put project managers, management positions, social media 90% of the time, female preachers, politicians, political commentators, lawyers, where it's really just us repeating information and like we just start to think we're God's gift to the earth. That's some stuff I've noticed, but I was curious, what have you noticed that give women big egos?
So yeah, I definitely say certain jobs, certain fields can give a woman a big ego. College gives women a huge ego just by the fact that they're there. They're earning a degree, and obviously they're being told, yeah, so women are outpacing men in college. So them just enrolling, even if they don't finish or not, it still gives them a big ego that they enrolled or they got accepted into a college because they're assuming, okay, well, majority of men ain't shit because they're not going to college. But the reality is men have opted out from college because they've seen it as a scam, and they're actually getting into the trades and more specialized fields that ultimately, earn close to six figures right out of high school. So, she thinks she's doing better than men, but obviously she's kind of, actually setting herself back, especially if she's taken out a massive amount of student loans. So those degrees are definitely something that, boosts or inflates a woman's ego, especially if she is an unattractive woman. That degree is going to bolster 100% her whole self-esteem. Like if she is not cute, if she's not like, the it girl, or if she doesn't have that it factor, as far as attractiveness wise, she's going to lean on that degree more than anything else because that's her only saving grace to say, hey, see, I can't contribute to a relationship. I have a degree and, I can go 50-50 with a man.
Have you ever noticed the harder the degree the woman gets, the uglier the woman? So like female engineers, they're just always chopped.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Some of the best advice my father ever gave me was, those who don't have to won't, right? So women that are so pretty, they don't have to get degrees. They don't have to achieve. So a lot of women, the kind that'll go into a male-dominated field and break down all these academic barriers and climb the corporate ladder, they're so ugly that they have to do it.
Yeah, and also being a teacher gives a woman ultimate, confidence because overconfidence actually, because she's, directing kids and she thinks she knows more than you just because she's babysitting other people's kids all day.
Dude, you got it. Man, I never thought about that. That's true.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a good one.
Actually, I think the bitchiest girls on our volleyball team absolutely were teachers.
Yeah, like seriously, like I used to work at this elementary school and I was doing some work for the Boys and Girls Club, like some fitness coaching and stuff. And the female teachers, they'd be like 250 pounds, but they'd have the utmost confidence and they'd be trying to tell me how to do my job. And I'm sitting up here like, we are not in the same category. Like, honey, I'm getting paid more than you and I'm just showing up for a couple hours. So, they definitely have the utmost confidence for no reason when they're teachers, especially if they're teachers of small children.
Really, you think it's worse when they're younger?
Oh yeah, because it's harder to control those younger kids, so they feel like they're doing more. Like, when women have kids and they're saying, oh well, being a mom is the hardest job. In reality, it really isn't. The hardest thing about being a mom is being pregnant. That's the hardest thing. Once the baby pops out, it's really not that hard.
And then, Pearl, when you're dating a woman that teaches elementary school, they always have that elementary school teacher voice. So you'll be a grown man, and they'll be like, so here's what we're going to do today, okay? We're going to do this, all right? It's like, stop doing that.
It's patronizing.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. They can't turn it off.
Yeah, and then they'll incorporate whatever subject that they're teaching that day into the conversation. So like if you're dating a teacher, if you're on dating apps, yeah, like if you're on dating apps and you date a teacher, you swipe right on the teacher, you actually link up with her, she doesn't flake. She is going to incorporate whatever lesson that she taught in that class into your date, and she's going to bring it up and try and quiz you and see, oh, am I smarter than this guy? And if you can't answer the questions correctly off of a curriculum that you learned 620 whatever, however long it was ago since you were in elementary school or middle school, then she's going to be like, oh, this guy's dumb, he's not as smart as me because he doesn't remember trigonometry or some shit like that. So she's going to incorporate what she's teaching in the class in that date or in that relationship and see if you, quote unquote, know more than her.
And she's teaching elementary school.
Yeah, everything you say.
Literally.
We couldn't even tell. What do you think is worse, dating a lawyer or an elementary school teacher as a woman?
I mean, the lawyer would be worse from a marriage aspect, you know, because you got the divorce courts. But I mean, the elementary school teachers, I mean, in many cases, they're just insufferable because, you know, a lawyer, at least there's somebody that they necessarily have to answer to. You know, a teacher, all they have to do, if they don't like their principal, they just go to the school board and complain about it. And they can get that guy fired if they get enough, you know, of those teachers on their side. But with a lawyer, they got to answer to the judge. They can't really get the judge fired. There's a hierarchy in that courtroom. So besides the divorce angle, I would say teachers 100% on a day-to-day who's bitchier basis is going to be that teacher.
I can't.
Wow.
Even
do you have any more of these? These are great. These are great. Give me more.
I can go down a whole bunch of different professions.
Yeah, keep going. That's great.
Okay, well, female athletes. I mean, you know, we all see what's going on with the WNBA. Pay me as, you know, what I'm worth and all that kind of stuff. They are very difficult to deal with because, for one, they have higher physical standards because obviously they're athletic, so they want an athletic guy. That's reasonable. But then, you know, they think that they're doing something really difficult every day. And, you know, for the average woman, it probably is. But for a man, you know, that's breakfast. You know, we wake up, we do 100 burpees and it's nothing. But to these women, it's the hardest thing that anyone is doing. And they feel like they're doing more than anybody. So female athletes, definitely something to watch out for when it comes to, you know, unfounded confidence.
No, that's so true. Do you know what's crazy? I did a tournament we had a literal guy there playing in it, like a trans person, and they were yelling at me because I said something. I don't care if they get beat up. I do not care. I don't care. But and it's crazy because if you tell them they don't deserve as much money because we suck, like compared to the men, they get so mad. They like crash out. It's like
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like if you watch the WNBA highlights, honestly, the WNBA looks worse than women's college basketball. I mean, it's so bad, and there's no structure, and the egos on those basketball teams are insanely massive. So,
yeah. What else? Give me more. These are hilarious.
What about nurses?
Yeah, nurses. Here's the thing about nurses: they're serving everybody all day. So when they get home, they're not serving their husband.
Yeah, they have nothing left.
Nothing left. Nothing. The only thing left for you is for you to lend them your ear, and they're gonna talk your head off about all day about, you know, what they saw this and who's cheating on who in the office. Meanwhile, they're lusting after the doctor, trying to fuck the doctor, but you know, they gonna come over here and tell you some gossip about another nurse who's doing the same thing that she wants to do.
Or even worse, nurses are heroes.
Right.
Jeez, ever since that started, cook.
You guys are funny. What else? What else you
save
got?
lives every single day. Girl, you wipe ass every day. That's what you do.
Right.
I save lives. I'm a nurse. And it's how they feel, and you can't argue with them about it. It's awful.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all brought up this, but therapists, female therapists.
That's a good one.
I mean, especially if they work with men, you know, I mean, the egos are through the roof.
And then they try to psychoanalyze you, right?
Well, and that's the thing, because I was head down there. So has this been your experience, bro, where female therapists think that their degree in social work or their degree in psychology makes them the arbiter of reality?
Yeah.
So they're trained to interpret all realities. So what they do is, talking to a female therapist, you're always on the back foot, always, because they're always trying to figure you out. You can't make a permanent stance on something because they always try to question you. It's awful.
Yeah, they believe they're doctors. They think that they're doctors. I mean, just look at, we see the Sadia Khan situation here. She wasn't even a real therapist. Like she didn't even, but she was claiming that she was, and she was trying to embrace that because, once you get into that field and you believe you think you know somebody before they've even opened their mouth. Like that's what they really believe, and that's why their egos are insufferable to deal with.
Are there any jobs that are better than others or majors?
I mean, if she's going into not necessarily like teaching young kids, but if it's more of a what is it, the like child care workers and stuff like that, that's probably one of your best bets. Or if she works with like mentally retarded kids or something like that, like got people with disabilities, because it is a stressful job, but she's not surrounded by people where she is actually having to use her brain like that. So those types of professions, I seem to see women being more caring and nurturing. But I mean, honestly, in this day and age, it really is hard to find a nurturing woman who is gonna lose the ego and isn't gonna backtalk and is going to submit to her man, no matter what professional. And don't let her be in money services or be a bank teller or anything like that. It's over.
Well, what happened? I don't know much about bank tellers. So
so the bank tellers, they're in a very unique position because most of the time they're eye candy. They don't really know what they're doing. They always have to call a manager over to help get this transaction through or process this transaction, especially like the younger ones, the mid to, like if they're not older than mid 30s and they're slightly attractive. These are the types of women who, they don't know what they're doing in their job, but they're still going to elevate the ranks and get promoted just for the simple fact that she's a cute girl and she's having a lot of human interaction. She may not necessarily be pushing transactions through, but she's having a lot of human interactions, and there's big clients at the bank. So not only is she having a lot of interaction, but she's also dealing with high rollers, guys who got safe deposit box that, look like a closet, things like that.
Oh, okay. Have you guys ever dated a baker or a cook? I met a guy who married a baker the other day. I was just curious if either of you had that experience.
Odds are she was super liberal, kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, she probably was. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I dated a baker one time, and she just, very liberal, very laid back. Yeah, it wasn't my stuff. Like too laid back. I'm talking like hippie laid back. So, you see the super chat? I put that link to the update in the private chat.
In the private chat, Goop just dropped a new Sadia Khan update. She's so screwed.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. I saw that.
But this, I think we reacted to this already. Yeah. This is that's from a week ago. Is there one recently?
Yeah, that was on the 25th. I don't think he's dropped anything recently because I just did a live stream on it.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
that was it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh no, the truth is never person. Oh wait. Okay, now she's saying there is a new update. It's here.
But Sadia Khan did remove her comments, so you can't comment on the last 4 or 5 posts.
This one.
A high value woman, high value man coach, but
it was 19 minutes ago.
Okay.
Learned she was a side piece in somebody else's relationship. Not very high value, was it, Sadia? But some of you voiced some credibility questions about the screenshots and the voice messages that it showed. After all, one of the clips was her literally saying, "I'll suck your man's dick on your wedding day. I don't care."
I do about it. I'll suck his dick if you have an attitude, and I can do it today if I want to.
Go on.
And I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay. All of this made me want.
God damn.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, she a solid side piece for that.
I want to verify it and maybe dig a little deeper. I did something bad, guys. I teamed up with YouTubers Abba and Preach, and we set up a call with Sadia Khan. And when I say set up a call, what I really mean to say is that we convinced her that Abba was on her side and that he was doing a call with her so that he could do his own puff piece to help her own PR campaign. Fortunately for Sadia, she just got 1 hour long of her confirming everything we already knew. Such as her confirming the phone number that she sent this dick appointment text from. He had the phone number already because this guy's girlfriend took these screenshots
Oh my gosh.
of his phone. You see it right there, ends in 3719. Here's the footage of Sadia confirming it on the phone.
Also, just to confirm, I was given like 2 different numbers. I have one here. I don't know which one might be yours or maybe like the assistant. That says 971585493 Is that wrong?
3719?
Yeah.
That is correct.
So it was.
Damn.
You
Put the
making those
phone
late
number out there.
Oh yeah, they just leaked her phone number. Damn.
booty calls to another woman's man. Now, when she confirmed that number, she did not know that we had those screenshots of her sending those messages. Here's where she realizes that we have them. Abba puts it up on the screen on the meeting that they had.
There you
go. Okay, so it's got my team's number on there. Yeah, because my number on there is going, because that's the number that you get when you join my WhatsApp group.
You can pinpoint the approximate moment that her soul leaves her body when she realizes she's caught.
But so just to be clear, in 2021, you didn't have a relationship with this person. You guys weren't.
Never had a relationship with this person.
Never had a relationship, but when he said, "Nah, I'm getting you pregnant," you said, "Might as well." Never had a relationship, but you told him that he owed you dick.
There is zero chance of me being somebody's side chick. I've got evidence of us. I've got pictures of us. We got married in 2022. We've got embryos in January 22. So we've got evidence that we were obviously together for way longer than that.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
hell?
That's
So she's claiming she's married?
my theory. She doesn't want this out there because she was talking to this guy, sucking and fucking him, while she was courting the man that she's currently married to. To support my theory,
Let's go.
Damn.
only thing Sadia was concerned about getting out was these text messages.
Is there a way that we can avoid talking about the screenshots altogether? I know it's hard, and you can keep the original video up. I don't mind. You can do what you need to do.
No, Sadia, there isn't a way. Enjoy the rest of your week. Wait, there's more. Sadia made the
Oh my gosh.
claim to me today that the audio recording of her saying that she would suck his dick on his wedding day and his fiance's birthday was AI generated. What Sadia doesn't know is that we already got her to confirm that it was her.
Only in that moment when I feel like I'm defending myself, my go-to is to become rude and disrespectful. 100% my nature, which I really need to work on. This is definitely a lesson for that. I was like, who are you fucking talking to? I was like, if I wanted to, I could suck your dick on his wedding day.
So there she is, not knowing that she's being.
Bam.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's cooked.
Recorded, admitting to the fact that she did make those phone calls. And here she is.
This is the Sadia. So many men have learned the art of an apology. Those guys that get caught cheating and then they come forward with the Tiger Woods. We should show her the Tiger Woods video.
No. Or the Kobe Bryant apology. Remember that back in the day?
When they're not sorry at all, but they're just like reading.
Yeah.
She's my heart. She's the air that I breathe. I'm guilty of adultery. Come on. That's what she should have done.
I want to watch the rest. Then maybe we could pull it up, the Tiger Woods or the other one.
In my inbox saying that the police are investigating and they found evidence to support that it's AI and generated by some random dude that has nothing to do with this story at all. Sadia, just a word to the wise from one human being to another. The next time you decide to lie, figure out what your enemy has before you lie about it. So I recently exposed Sadia Khan on my
Bam.
Dang.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of people are talking about, she's charging 7,000 GPB or something. And honestly, I mean, for a video call or something or a chat call or whatever, I mean, has anybody tried to see if those were like out call prices? Because You know, I heard she was frequent in Dubai a lot, so she might be a Dubai girl. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Sadia, here you go. We got to learn from the best.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me. Many of you in this room are my friends. Many of you in this room know me. Many of you have cheered for me, or you worked with me, or you supported me. Now, every one of you has good reason to be critical of me.
Yeah, see, that's where you start. You got to acknowledge them and say you have good reason to be critical.
Yep.
This apology got him into the Trump family, all right, guys?
Yep.
I want to say to each of you simply and directly, I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in. I know people want to find out how I could be so selfish and so foolish. People want to know how I could have done these things to my wife, Elin, and to my children. And while I have always tried to be a private person,
This is like men versus women. It's like women will gaslight into eternity, and men will they'll just own it. It's like, I got caught. This is it.
Right. And then I hate when he has to say, "Oh, what I did to her." No, I mean, what you did to the bitches. All he did was fuck the bitches. He didn't do shit to her.
And I honestly think that Tiger Woods' wife didn't want to divorce him, but they influenced her. Well, you have to do something. You have to do something, because she's never said a bad word about him ever. She never said a bad word about him. She's never.
I thought she tried to hit him with a car. Did she not?
She tried to hit him with a golf club.
Oh.
But I don't think she came like out public to speak.
Yeah.
That was like what was reported.
Yeah. Of all the slighted exes, or slighted wives, post divorce, she's handled it really well.
Yeah, she has. I think that's why she got remarried. I think she remarried decently well. I can't remember who it was to. Tiger Woods' ex-wife. Married. Oh, no, she didn't. I totally thought she remarried.
Alpha widowed.
But she's in a relationship with Jordan Cameron.
Whoa.
Oh,
And
I
she got
don't know
100.
why I thought she married another. Like, I thought she married another athlete. Sorry, go ahead.
I think she got like $150 million. The divorce. Ex-wife getting divorced. Yeah, she $100 million in the divorce, so she's good.
God, Lord have mercy.
So many women get cheated on for free. You know what I mean? $50 million.
So I was going to ask, reclaim your throne. What are the biggest signs that a woman has? So let's say, we're all hanging out, and I would say, "Hey guys, I'm bringing this girl I'm dating over," and you never met the girl, but you were keeping your eyes and ears open. What would you be looking for? What are the telltale signs that a woman has a big ego?
Obviously, if she's coming into the venue like talking off rip, not waiting to be introduced, I definitely think that's a sign of a big ego.
Okay. Anything else?
It depends on the setting. Like, if you could paint me a scenario, I can better tell you. But I think like if she has a man and he's bringing her into a new environment, and she's not waiting for him to introduce her, and she's kind of jumping the gun and introducing herself, I think that's a sign of a big ego.
Yeah. I think because one of the main ones for me is how she talks to men. Because one of the biggest signs of a big ego is women that talk to men like they can beat them in a fight, or they're not afraid of the consequence. Like the physical consequences of talking to a man. That's a big one. Uh, if the only she talks about is her job
Yeah.
in a personal situation, yeah, there's a lot of telltale signs.
Do you have any more jobs for me? I liked those. Those are pretty funny.
I mean, fast food workers.
What?
That's a bad one.
How do you have how do you have a big ego delivering fast food?
You'd be surprised. The women in the window, because they have total control of your bag. They got control what goes in, what comes out. And don't rush them either. Don't try to rush them because you ain't getting your shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You ain't getting it.
Wait, let's give him random jobs and see what he says. This is hilarious. Female personal trainers.
Oh yeah, I mean, a personal trainer, obviously, like she got her body, in shape and whatnot, and she's actually training clients. Like a lot of women are personal trainers for Instagram, but they actually don't have clients. They just are bending over on Instagram and getting a lot of followers and likes and stuff. But if she actually has clients, yeah, she's definitely going to have a big ego. And then she's definitely going to be smashing some of them clients because it's going to be guys who are going to sign up for her personal training. And obviously they're trying to hit on her, and she's going to be able to, have the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, well, I was just doing my job. I was just training. I was just doing my job. That is a way that women can obfuscate the blame or the onus of their bad decisions through being a personal trainer.
Female sales reps.
So the sales reps, obviously, they're taught to sell. So she knows how to sell herself, and the easiest thing on herself to sell is sex. So, I mean, you kind of just put two and two together there.
Police officers.
Oh, good one.
Oh my God. I mean, female police officers, exhausting because they actually think that they can do the job of the male officers. And, they have the locker room talk, they have the banter. And nowadays, their locker rooms are connected. So they're going in with the guys and changing with the guys in the same locker because, a lot of these police precincts, they weren't made to have like a women's section. It's just one locker room for all the cops. So they're all going in there, and she thinks she's one of the boys, and ain't nothing worse than a woman who thinks she's one of the guys.
Female accountants.
So I actually know some female accountants, and the issue with the female accountants is a lot of times they're alcoholics. I know this female accountant, I swear, because they're sitting up there doing a boring ass job all day, and all they want is some relief. So they are abusing substances like a mug, and then they'll also make life-changing, detrimental decisions based off of that intoxicated, rager that they go on. Like I know a female accountant who's got a twin sister, and she was working in Louisiana, and she was, CPA in Louisiana, for a year and a half. And then she just gets super drunk, and she lays down on a train track, loses one of her legs.
What?
I promise you.
Oh,
I swear.
Female engineers.
Yeah, so I mean, a female engineer, she's in a male-dominated space, so she's gonna fall under that category of one of the girls who thinks she's one of the guys. So she's one of those girls who's gonna bust your balls. She's gonna make jokes. She's gonna take cheap shots at you and all that kind of stuff. But then the moment you clap back, she's going to become the victim.
Females in marketing.
Marketing, a lot of times they're just like it's all fluff. It's all fluff. Most of the time when a woman is in marketing, she's more of a face of it. She's not actually doing the marketing herself, because all marketing is spending money on ads. That's really all it is. When it comes to like the creation or the directing of some of these commercials. Obviously, you know, we've seen like a woke element come into commercials and stuff like that. So you do have that where there are select companies where they're allowing the women to, you know, kind of write the scripts of the commercials. But typically they're used for a face. You know, they're used for when the board members come in and she's going to be the first face that they see. And then they walk right past her, go into the meeting room, come out with the ad, and then, you know, they slap her on her ass on the way back. Like that's kind of, it's more eye candy with women in marketing.
Okay.
In corporate America.
Women in tech.
So women in tech, you're definitely going to have like a more nerdy side, but obviously in many cases, you know, you're going to have like a very small percentage who are going to outperform the men. But in many cases, they're just trying to keep up, and it's going to end up being a quota hire at the end of the day. So they're trying to have a minimum amount of women in the office. And I mean, you've seen it. We've seen the layoffs in Silicon Valley where the women who are working for Google are, oh, well, you know, here's my day. I wake up, I have a latte, I go to lunch, I take a nap in the nap area, and then I work for 30 minutes, and then I go, you know, take another break. So they're not really doing any legitimate real work. A lot of times the women in tech are involved in social media companies, and they're the censoring aspect of it. So they're the ones online who are, you know, helping put together these bots and then helping to curate content to censor.
I have a horror story about a woman in tech. So I have a friend who dated a girl in California. He's from LA and she was in tech. Well, she knew how to like code. And she was batshit crazy that she was actually stalking him. So she could make like accounts, like bots that would just refollow him.
Yep.
And like, I can't remember the ins. I actually want him to call in one day, but I just remember she knew how to code and she used the stuff she learned in tech to stalk him to the point that he was actually granted a restraining order against a woman, which is really hard to get, especially in California. But that's how bad it was.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Because a lot of these tech women, they say that they work in tech and they demand the respect of working in tech, but they work tech adjacent jobs.
Yeah.
So they work at Google, but they're like an accounts manager or they're HR or something. And they say, oh yeah, you know, I work in tech. It's like, no, you're not a software engineer. You don't have a computer science degree, but you demand the respect of a person with those type of qualifications.
Right.
Women, have you ever met female dancers, not strippers, but like ballerinas, like women employed through dance, maybe theater?
Oh yeah. I definitely know a couple dancers, you know, and not the ones who are getting single, you know, dollars thrown at them. They usually end up single mothers real fast because a lot of times they're doing dances for artists who, you know, have a bigger name than them. So I know this one woman, she was a dancer and she, you know, is a backup dancer for major artists like Chris Brown and all that kind of stuff. And she's featured in the videos and they end up getting pregnant by somebody on the set in a lot of times. It's not the artist because the artists, you know, obviously they're a lot more careful, but it's usually somebody on the set, an agent, you know, a production manager, you know, a casting director, one of those guys. I mean, dancers is the same as Hollywood is casting couch.
What about like Dallas, like Cowboys cheerleaders? Are they in the same category? Like,
Oh yeah, they going. I mean, the cheerleaders, so the cheerleaders aren't supposed to. And I played college football, so like I really know the sports element of it. So the cheerleaders are not supposed to hook up with the athletes, but obviously they do. And that, you know, they continually get alpha widowed. And usually what they do to get around this is she might be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, but her boyfriend plays for the Bears, right? So she's dating a football player, but not the one on the team. And then, you know, she might get dicked down every now and again from the guys who are actually on the team that she cheers for. But her, you know, backup or main guy is a long distance relationship with another athlete somewhere else. And that's kind of how they hide their hand and have their cake and eat it too.
Top female
Flight attendants.
Oh, good. Oh, come on.
Yeah. I mean, flight attendants are always on the go. I mean, they're traveling. They're a travel girl. So, you know, a lot of times, and they're racking up these frequent flyer miles, and they're racking up points. So on their off time, they're still traveling, right? So, I mean, this is something that, you know, a lot of people know that they will be smashing the pilots or the guys who are sitting in first class.
I wonder I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay, go.
I wonder if the flight attendant relationship to the pilots is like the nurses to the doctors, where the flight attendants are all trying to get themselves a pilot, so they're sleeping because nurses, I mean, they try to sleep with enough doctors to bag themselves one. I wonder if the flight attendant pilot relationship is the same. Have you heard anything about that?
So with the flight attendants, it used to be flight attendant pilot, right? That's kind of like the go-to relationship that you would assume. But now it's flight attendant, first class, business class guy. So the guys that they're actually serving in the first class, the guys that are actually serving in the business class are the guys who, one, are more likely to hop down just because, you know, they don't work with these women. They're gonna see them one time and one time only, so it gets rid of all that rejection anxiety, and he knows that she has to still be polite to him even if she rejects his sexual advances. So those are the guys who are gonna have the most luck with the flight attendants, and that's what I see. Is the flight attendants are dealing with the business class and the first class guys now more than they are with the pilots.
That's true, because a lot of guys aren't risking hooking up with women at work anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the work wife is, but in places adjacent, they'll do it. What about female doctors?
Yeah, so usually a female doctor, they're probably gonna end up getting with another doctor just because they're at work at the same time all day. They understand, you know, the profession, and she can't date down. She can't date a male nurse, right? So she's gonna go with a doctor in another department, maybe, but he has to have a doctorate.
Okay, real quick. Top 3 professions. I'm gonna make a hierarchy of cheating, which is like in a triangle where like the most cooked to the least cooked. So for women, top 3 professions where you're the most cooked.
Most cooked as far as cheating goes?
Yeah, cheating.
Well, obviously we got nurses. They'll probably be number 1 up there. Damn. Definitely nurses number 1.
So where are the nurses going if the doctors stop hooking up with them? What adjacent place are they going?
I mean, they might
get hours like
they might get with some of the patients, you know what I'm saying? I done seen dudes come in with a little scratch. You know what I'm saying? You come in there with a little scratch, you get nurse back to health, and then next thing you know, you're asking the nurse out and she's giving your number. So they're getting with these patients, man.
Here's the thing: there are lots of male, like what a quarter of nurses are male nurses now, and also remember, most nurses work 14 days a month, so they have a lot of time to be getting it in, man. They work 12-hour shifts, and they have a lot of days off.
I was thinking you're going to be more cooked the more of a schedule. Like you're kind of cooked if you're dating a fireman because, I mean, he could just say he's working whenever. So the more it's like a 24-hour job and they can just say they're working. That's what I was thinking. You're probably more cooked. So for the nurses, they could just say they have a night shift and they go to their side dude's house.
Oh yeah, easy.
And yeah, if you're not like, what are you going to do if you're dating one? You're not going to follow her, you know?
Right.
It's okay. So nurses the most cooked. Would you say you're more cooked dating a nurse than a flight attendant?
You're probably more cooked dating a flight attendant just because she's not home and she's traveling, and at least the nurse has to come back to the crib at least some point in the day, unless she's a travel nurse. Then that kind of blends them in. But you know, a sleeper is the front desk at a hotel. Those women, they're staying up late. They're seeing a lot of people go in and out, and they know your room number. So if there's a guy, I mean, you know, guys will go up there, will get the room key and be like, join me later. It happens. Trust.
They're great. I would never have thought of that.
Hey, Lou, we need to have editors like literally edit this whole thing together, man, because this has been gold. These are gems.
I would never have. Are there any other sleepers that?
I gotta think of one. I know it's more for sure.
It'd be a good tweet for you, like a list of the sleeper.
Yeah.
Like professions.
Sleeper professions.
What about like female bartenders?
Oh yeah, they're definitely. I mean, it's all the way up with them. But at the end of with a female bartender, if they're gonna cheat, it's gonna be on the low, and it's gonna be with a guy who's pretty much on the next level of the guy that they're with, because there's a big onus on bartenders and bottle girls to be loyal. So they're constantly trying to prove to their man that they're loyal, because they're pretty much like, in lingerie every day at work. So they're constantly trying to prove to their man that they're loyal. But if they come across a guy who they perceive is more of an alpha than their man, for lack of a better term, they're going to go with him. So, I would say that when it comes to bartenders and bottle girls and stuff, they tend to be super duper loyal for a short amount of time. But then once they feel like the relationship isn't serving them anymore, they're going to cheat in the most embarrassing way.
So are bartenders and bottle girls, are they more likely to get with a guy, stay short-term loyal, and then when they get bored, are they going to break up with the guy to find somebody else, or are they going to stay with the guy until they find somebody else?
I mean, typically they're gonna. I mean, if the guy is providing, the guy at home is providing, like he's making more than her, then she's probably just gonna keep it on the low. Because the guy that she's gonna cheat with is gonna be more of a physical attraction to her than her guy at home.
Would retail be a good way to go, because they're selling to women usually, and they work with women? Most retail workers are women.
Yeah, I mean, if she, here's the thing, like you'll have women who work in retail. The issue with women who work in retail, like if they're working at a department store, or they're working at like a Victoria's Secrets or JCPenney or something like that, they typically end up being fat. So they'll be super overweight. It's hard to like stay in shape with a job like that, where you're on your feet 8 hours a day and you're just standing there, and then they're just gossiping all day. So, it's going to be harder for them to stay in shape. But if you do have a woman in shape who works, retail, she could be a good bet, because it's not like she's just earning a crazy amount where she, is just going to try and boss up on you. There's still a hierarchy. She has to answer to a boss. She has to answer to a supervisor. She has to answer to a manager. So there's going to be that instilled hierarchy in her. You just don't want her working in the fragrance department, because if she's inhaling all those different fragrances and perfumes and colognes and all that kind of stuff, they come back home with a screw loose, man. I mean, it affects your brain cells. I'm not saying it, it's super, super duper toxic, but I mean, you got all these different, you're inhaling all these different fumes all day. They gonna come back acting a little loopy.
What about beauty? Like women that do like hair, nails, wax, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. So if she's doing like hair, makeup, nails, I would say that's fine. I think the wax is a little pushing it, because then you're gonna have to deal with more naked bodies, and it's just the eroticism. Even if she's not like a homosexual girl, if she's waxing pussy all day, she's gonna end up being horny. I mean, you kind of are you shooting in the dark there. So
cool. Well, this is great. Thanks for coming on, Doug MPA. You got any other questions for him?
We're gonna have to You're gonna have to teach a class or something for Pearl's website on this whole thing, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I'm
we
down.
literally have to come. No, I'm serious. We have to compile all these together because, man, like young guys now, especially this would be for guys who get a professional degree and right around and they're really getting into their career. So maybe around like 28, 29, 30 would need to hear all these, man. Like this is for a guy who's 28, 29 to 30 years old. We need to hear everything you said tonight. This is great. This is gold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much, man. This is great.
I
For
like
sure. I'm glad I could help.
I liked what you said about cheating adjacent industries.
Yeah.
'Cause I would say in my lifetime, I don't think I've really seen. Okay, I've seen YouTubers cheat at work, but that's like, I feel like that's a little bit different. But like in professional settings, I've never seen people hook up at work because like I think in my lifetime, too many guys got screwed that they're just not willing to risk it.
Yeah, well, the food industry is rife with that. Like, if you,
I was about to
any
say
girl
that.
who's working at a restaurant, dude, all of them are fucking each other, bro.
Yeah, if you have a daughter, don't ever let her first job be in a restaurant.
Yeah, because Doug used to work there.
I waited tables for 8.5 years, man. I'm telling you, I've seen sin and I've sinned myself. So let's put it that way.
Yep. And then it's harder for like the management to get fired at these fast food places. So even if they were like smashing a lower level employee, it's easier to cut those people loose. So it happens all the time.
And it doesn't even have to be fast food, guys. Most chain restaurants, restaurant managers make no money for the amount of hours they work. You're literally working 70, 80 hours a week for $50,000 a year. $1,000 a year. And so, and most of the time, a lot of the servers make more than the managers do, factor in tips. So nobody wants to do it. So most restaurant managers are people that they were the only ones willing to show up and do it.
We had a guy call in that said he got a part-time job every time he wanted to get laid, like serving, because he'd be the most successful one there.
Oh yeah.
Because he had a real job.
That's a move, man, for real.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks so much for calling in. We do this every day around the same time. So if you ever see a topic, feel free to jump on, okay?
Oh yeah, for sure. Y'all know where to find me. # Reclaim Your Throne, YouTube, Reclaim D1 on X. Peace. Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say woman in the military. That's another one where you're cooked.
But I think that you can do the same thing with law enforcement that you can with the military. A lot of female military members think that they can do everything a man can do. And that's a problem.
I think the military women have to be the most willing to cheat. I think you're the most cooked with military women because you have space where you're gone. So he's never going to find out if you're on a boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you haven't seen him in X amount of time. And you're around really attractive guys. So
yeah, you're deployed for like 10 months at a time. And like, if your significant other as a military woman isn't masculine, like you are gonna run into a masculine man in the military who's gonna get them all, all hot and bothered. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think we're going to close out the show on that. Guys, let me know in the comments, what have you seen a woman get a really big ego from? We'd love to talk about it. If you have any additions to the hierarchy of cheating, where you're the most cooked for dating this profession to the least cooked, feel free to put in the comments. And if you have pros and cons of dating different professions of women, feel free. Like the video, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Have a good one.